Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mainline Blueprint Marketing Podcast. My name is Larry Williams, and we have a little bit of a different setting that we're going to do for today's episode. I am actually going to play a recording from a session that I do with pastors once a month. It's called the Sankofa Project, and I am one of the cohorts in that program that helps pastors to really grow and go to the next level. I did a presentation recently on the StoryBrand Framework that I got a lot of good reviews from them about, and I said I wanted to share that with you all, and hopefully it will add some value to what you all do in your ministries. So we're going to play some of the sponsors for the podcast prior to sharing the audio recording, and then we will give you access to that recording, and then I will share some final thoughts with you at the end. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this adds a lot of value to you, and if you are interested in getting a revamped website, I would love to share more about that with you at the end. So I hope you enjoy, and see you on the other side. Hey, Pastor, real quick, if your church website is getting a refresh this summer, don't forget one of the most important pieces: online giving. I highly recommend Tidely. It's simple, secure, and trusted by over 37,000 churches around the world. Tidely makes it incredibly easy to add giving buttons, mobile-friendly forms, and even recurring donation options, so your members can stay engaged no matter where they are. If you're ready to make generosity easier for your church family, head over to the link in the show notes and check out Tidely today. Hey, Pastor, if you're building or refreshing your church website, you'll need reliable hosting. I recommend Bluehost. It's simple to use, affordable, and works great with WordPress. It's what I suggest to every church that wants to build a strong online presence without all the tech headaches. You can check it out through my link in the description. It helps support this channel and gives you a discount as well. Check it out, and let's make your digital front door strong, fast, and welcoming. God bless. I do have a presentation I wanted to share today. First of all, since our last meeting, I have been stalking y'all's websites and anything y'all have online. And I have been putting things together in the background, little by little, crafting things that I think are going to be helpful for your ministry. So I've been kind of stalking you and trying to figure out what y'all got going on. And I'm doing that prior. I know there's still a few folks I need to meet with, but what I found in doing a lot of this work is it's a lot better to meet when you have something tangible to show, instead of trying to do that collaboratively, because that could take a long time. So it's best to get a lot of the groundwork done. So I have been working on that based upon the presentation that we've done last week. But I'm going to do something a little bit different today. And the reason for the presentation that I'm going to do today, I am a StoryBrand certified guide. So I've gone through a training that helps me to do marketing really for any type of business, right? But my specialty, my heart is for ministry. So that's what I do all day long. Like, I'm literally redoing websites. Like, it don't make sense. I'm working on a new website pretty much every single day, from anywhere in the country, and it's different churches, different denominations. It's a lot, but I'm going to actually do a presentation as if I am speaking to business owners and entrepreneurs. This is a keynote that we get access to as guides, that we give to business owners, that we can give to business owners to help them to grow their business. The reason I'm going to do that here is I want you to understand the principle of what I'm trying to convey, because a lot of times it's in the principle that you can find out, okay, this makes sense. Because if I actually redid this entire talk for churches, but I actually think it could be a little bit more valuable to pretend like I'm speaking to business owners who are trying to grow their business. Because sometimes when you step outside of that lane, it helps you to see it a little bit clearer, and that's what I'm hoping happens today. So, I know church isn't a business, even though it pretty much operates and does everything like a business. It needs money, right? It needs people.
I
But for a moment, I want to pretend like I'm talking to entrepreneurs who are just trying to grow their business, and then we'll talk at the end about how some of this stuff applies. So let me go ahead. So this is a a a talk around StoryBrand and how StoryBrand helps businesses. So to start, most companies waste a bunch of money on marketing. A bunch. And I can say without a shadow of a doubt, um, so many times we spend so much money on marketing because you need if a business doesn't do marketing, it's not going to be a business very long. That's just the truth, right? Um, my son decides to start crying now. It's fine. We're going to press through it. But you need marketing to stay afloat in business. So you'll spend X amount on a website, X amount on ads, X amount on this and that. So you understand that you need marketing in order to keep your business afloat, but it's understanding how to market. That's the tricky part because there's so many different ways to do it. What's the way that's actually going to help me to be profitable? Not really sure why. This is a nice looking website. This is part of the slides that they give us. But this is a website I think that they've worked with. But here's the crux of the matter. Okay. This is the real deal. People buy products. And I want you to think about why you buy products, why you make decisions to do certain things. After reading or hearing words that make them want to buy the products. And we just think about it. We buy because there were words we either saw or heard that made us decide, I want to purchase that. That's why people buy products. Now, from a psychological standpoint, from the beginning of time, there are two things that humans are always trying to do, and this is part of the reason why people buy products. Number one, to survive and thrive. When people, like basically, if it's going to help me to survive, so I'm going to be able to stay alive, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, basic necessities. These are the reasons why. So you're going to spend money just so that way you're not going to, like you want to stay alive. You don't want to die, right? So you're going to make the decisions that way, but also to thrive. You want to feel like this product will build some sort of significance in my life. Think about why people buy why a woman would buy a, Chanel purse, right? An MK purse, Gucci, Prada, all of these things. That's not for survival. That's for thriving. There's a level of, it says something about me when I'm wearing that product. It gives me a level of significance. And humans want that. But also, humans want to conserve calories. Humans only have so many calories that they can spend trying to figure things out. From a basic psychological standpoint, I can only spend so much time trying to figure out what I need to do. So they want to conserve calories. So as a marketer, these are the things that we want to help people to solve. We have to figure out what we do, how that helps people in one of these ways. So how well is your brand doing? How can we use the power of story to grow our business? How do we use story? Now, story has been used since the beginning of time. In fact, the Bible, the reason why the Bible has done what it's done is because of story. It's literally narrative. And that is how humans, that is how humans communicate. If you confuse, you lose. That's a major premise of this talk. If you confuse, you lose. The moment you confuse me, you're going to lose me. Oh, and it's also important to understand that story is a sense-making device. Story is how we make sense of the world. When we understand story, it helps us to make sense of what it is that we're doing. So how do we use story to sell in our business? How do we use story to grow our church? How do we use story to build whatever it is that we're doing? Story is the number one way to do that. So how does story work? You begin with a character.
I talk to a lot of pastors every week, and I've noticed a pattern. Churches are doing incredible ministry, but their websites make it look like they are stuck in 2015. That disconnect is costing you momentum, trust, and even guests. In 2025, people are spiritually curious, but digitally cautious. If your site doesn't reflect your heart, they move on. I'm helping 100 churches fix that this summer. Message me, and I'll send you a personalized website review just for your church.
StoryBrand principle number 1, when you agitate a customer's desire, they enter into the story your brand is telling. So what you want to do, that's why understanding who your customer is so important, because you want to agitate your customer's desire so that way they can enter into the story that your brand is telling. That is the first thing that you want to do. You want to make them feel like what you're selling, they need it. You want to agitate that desire. Number 2, that character has a problem. If you stop talking about your customer's problem, they start paying attention to your brand. You have to talk about your customer's problem. You want to understand your customer's problem better than they do. That is the key. That is how brands remain relevant, because you understand their problem and you have the ability of solving it with your product. That is what the best marketing companies do all day long. They're just constantly talking about the problems that their customers face. Number 3, meets a guide. Your customer is the hero of the story, not your brand or your church. I cannot tell you how many church, and I'm constantly doing church websites. It's brochures about the church. The church is this. The church is that. The church is this. This is what we do. This is what the churches that grow spend 80% of their marketing talking about the people they're trying to reach. That is the key, the difference. The customer is the hero of the story, not the brand. Number 4, who gives them a plan? Your customer needs an easy step-by-step plan to move forward, or they won't move at all. Going back to that burning calories thing at the beginning. If I have to consume too many calories trying to figure out what you want me to do, I'm not going to do anything at all. So it has to be easy. It has to be clear. It doesn't have to be clever, right? Preachers want to make everything clever. No, it just has to be clear. What's the next thing? What do I do next? So if you've already agitated, you show me that you know my needs. Now, okay, I'm sold. I want this. What do I have to do? What's an easy step that I can take? Who calls them to action? Unless you clearly call people to take action, they won't take action. That's just how people are. If there's not a clear next step, that's why we do altar calls. That's why we do altar calls, because it's the next step. Something for me to do. So on the website, how do I get involved? What's the next step? That's how there has to be a next step, or they won't take anything. They won't do anything. The next part is success. You have to show them what success looks like. A customer wants to cast a vision of what their lives look like if they use our products or our services. What does life look like after I join your church? For me, can you articulate it? Can you give me a vision of what my life looks like after that? That's key. That's a key thing that people want. People want to see what it looks like at the end. And then failure, that's seventh principle. If there are no consequences for not doing business with you, there is no reason for me to do business with you. And that doesn't mean, telling people they're going to hell, right? Or anything like that. But there is consequences for not joining a faith community, right? There is consequences for not being a part of a community. You don't have the same social structure that you would. So there is consequences, but being able to articulate that's a key thing. So is the story we are telling clear and compelling? That's the question. So this is the StoryBrand marketing framework in a nutshell. What do your customers want? What problem is your customer experiencing? Have you positioned your brand as the guide to the hero? Have you created a clear plan for the hero to win the day? Are your calls to action clear? Have you explained what their life looks like if they do business with you? Have you explained the negative consequences of not doing business with you? So this is something that we do with businesses. So this is called a brand script. And I actually craft these for churches and then I present them afterwards. But this is a brand script. This lays out this story. And it's really a game changer because it gives a clear, this is just like a movie script, right? But it's for your brand. And it helps you to understand what it is that you're the pathway that you're trying to bring people towards. Don't have to do any of these, but I end by saying, if you confuse, you lose. That is the key objective. If you confuse, you lose. All right. So I hope that was a blessing for you and your ministry. Please let me know if you want to learn more about the StoryBrand process and how that could be a benefit to your ministry. And I just look forward to helping as many pastors as I can this summer to really help them reshape their branding and their website to make a bigger impact in their community. So thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you for showing up on today's podcast, and we will talk again soon.